I mean, I'm excited.
Can I say cottagecore?
Oh, yeah, think cottagecore.
I love that.
They're a lovely little family.
I already know.
I'm glad you're still excited then.
Welcome to the Trailmix Love and Piecast, a podcast where we'll dive into different aspects of Trailmix games, love and pies, and why Pride is such an important month for us to celebrate. Each week, we will invite new Trailmixers to come and talk with us about different aspects of Pride when it comes to the workplace, the games industry, or our game, Love and Pies. So join me, your host Philippa, as we talk to all these amazing guests. Welcome back to the Love and Piecast. Today I'm here with our lead artist, Matt, and our lead content designer, Ross. We will dive into our 2024 Pride event and how we design diverse events and characters. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
you. Thanks for having us.
What is your favourite piece of queer media?
That's a good one. I have two.
That's fine.
I have a serious one. So I'll go with that first.
Yeah.
Okay, so I read a lot of queer books. And I really like one called How to Write an Autobiographical Novel by a writer called Alexander Chi. And he writes about like the entangling of, life, art, politics, sexuality, all this juicy stuff. But it's done in like a really vulnerable way, like a really thoughtful way. And it just made me question a lot about my own life.
Nice.
And also Buffy. Buffy's queer. Like 100%. Like, what little gay boy doesn't want to be Buffy?
Love.
I'm not sure it's my favorite, but I think maybe what I would consider one of the more formative or knowledgeable ones that like showed me more sides of queerness was the Netflix series Tales of the City, which was a continuation. It was adapted. It was originally a novel series from like the 80s and is actually kept going. It was the first time I guess I really saw a lot of different representation. It had a lot of representation of polyamory, of non-binariness, of transness. I wasn't expecting much from the series, and it just really like made me understand more of everyone's like queerness in that way, in the sense that nothing is straight, everything is messy.
Also, Laura Linney is in both, and she is.
Yes, she is
So
very
good.
good in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the Love and Pies Pride event coming up. What inspired this event and how did you come up with the theme?
From the get-go, even from the beginning of the year, we knew that like Pride was going to be a big one for us.
Yeah.
It was last year as well, and it was just such a rewarding event. Like, out of all of the events we did last year, I think it's safe to say that it was the one we were most excited about, and the one we got so much positive sentiment from the players. So it was amazing, like on so many different fronts. So we kind of wanted just to double down this year. So we knew that we were going to throw a lot of energy at it. We wanted to do something slightly different from last year as well. It was more conventional notions of Pride, as a protest, as
A parade and
as a
celebration and
as
stuff.
a celebration,
Yeah.
exactly. And that is obviously super important,
Yeah.
much needed. But I think this year we wanted to have, maybe explore like a more quieter sense of Pride, a more familial sense of Pride, like exploring the family unit. And I mean, we had perfect characters for that we've wanted to push more to the forefront anyway, because they're later game characters, so lots of players don't see them. So we just wanted to push Robin, our lovely non-binary character, who's also Eve's partner. Anyone who plays the game hopefully know those people, and their son Georgie. And we just wanted to celebrate like queer family and what that could mean.
Nice.
Yeah, we didn't want to retread the same ground necessarily as last year when it came to the narrative specifically, and the coziness aspect of our game fit with the idea of what we could do with a Pride that's more quiet and more subtle, I suppose. So like the narrative this time around was largely about them as a family and talking about Pride, and that becoming something that is a part of their jobs or their lives.
I think that was the fun part, like creatively as well. Is okay, you want the visual motifs in there that are symbolic of Pride, you want the rainbow, you want the colourfulness, but I mean that lends itself really well to the character of Robin anyway. They are like a super colourful character, so it was so easy to extend that to like their surroundings, their environment. And I think that's what was really fun for me about this event. It was kind of celebrating the intersectionality of them all, like riffing off of Robin's culture. It was just a great way to explore more than queerness.
Yeah. Queerness is part of, Eve and Robin's identity, but it's like that's only one aspect of it. There's a lot of expression of how to do it, and the art definitely, I feel, shows that.
Yeah, and in the story, it's one aspect of the family, because at the end of the day, they're a lovely little family.
I love that. I do want to come and speak to you, Matt, about the character art. How do you research and gather the insights to create authentic events in game, to take like these big topics and represent them for our players?
Good question. We are very fortunate to have like quite a queer presence at Trailmix.
Yeah.
Gay agenda. That obviously helps because you already have like the right voices sitting at the table where you can brainstorm ideas, you can sense check and just make sure you're hitting the right tone.
Yeah, I mean, for the event, there was research into like what would a queer family representation be, because there's it's not like the what was it, nuclear family that most people are used to.
It's about being different, and that's okay. And that's fine. Like a queer family having differences from what, say, a standard nuclear family would be, but that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, that is partly what we explore in the narrative as well. Is like spoilers. Eve is writing quotes for her news article about Pride, and all of those quotes come from Trailmix people.
Amazing.
They're all real experiences or thoughts about what Pride means for people, and they're diverse and different. And some of them, I would say, like some people may not necessarily agree on, and that's fine, because the perspective is not the same. It's not homogenous. It is wide and varied, and that's important with like researching and showing that part of an event for sure, like this.
I love that, and I think you're all both totally right. It's like having the right voices at the table allows you to tell an authentic story, and we are very fortunate to have a diverse team, and that's just great. Matt, can you tell me more about like how you develop characters and how that looks like for the art team?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the art team's done like such a good job of creating like a really diverse set of characters and like making sure they safeguard that within like creative processes and stuff. It sounds like very detached. It obviously comes from like an actual want to see representation in a game. It's like we want to create characters that we see there's a lack of in the mobile game sphere. And I think that's first and foremost where it comes from. The artists have done really good job at doing due diligence when it comes to character design and making sure that their design choices are correct and heavily researched. We don't want to give black characters white hairstyles that you see so much all the time.
It shows a lot more intention if you actually are speaking to the people. Again, it's the voices at the table thing. So I think
absolutely.
That's really
and I think there's like, because our game is so toony as well, like the style of the game is so cartoony, it really lends itself to these easy pitfalls you could fall into as an artist working on this game, where maybe like racial stereotypes can then be caricatured without even knowing it. And like that's alarming in itself, but it's just making sure you are paying attention. Everything is intentional, everything is researched, and everything is cross-checked.
And actually, to add to that a bit, something to note, especially for like our gender and queer representation in the game, we initially create those characters with the identities already established. That includes their gender identity, whether they're trans or cis, whether they're bisexual, non-binary, or whatever. So even though you may see characters like eventually in the story and events pop up that you didn't know were identifying in a certain way, that's something that we establish early on, and that also comes at times into the character design. We knew Robin, for example, was non-binary, introduced early into the story, but not seen till much later on. But that's something we were very aware of when the character was created. We didn't know what they looked like at the time, but that was something that helped lend into the artistic creation as well. So it's definitely like an agreement and a melding of ideas
Yeah.
to make it work.
And it is cool because whenever you're like starting from you're never starting from
Nothing.
nothing. You have like this big, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I feel like I know this person already.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
it's cool.
it's great having a profile because, well, it works for narrators as well. We can bring these narrative threads up later on, and it's not unnatural because it's always been part of that character.
Yeah.
And for Pride, that's definitely what we've done.
Cool.
Mm.
Thank you so much for joining. And thank you for watching. My final wrap-up question is: what can people look forward to seeing in Appleton in 2024 and beyond?
We have some very cool season stuff coming up.
Very nice.
I don't know if I can say too much. It's going to be very magical.
Look forward to magic, secretive magic.
Secretive, think fantasy,
Okay.
think wooded areas.
Ooh.
Can I say cottagecore?
Oh yeah, think cottagecore. Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited. I already know.
I'm glad you're still excited.
But I'm
then.
still excited.
Happy
Happy Pride!